Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Um, I was just watching a bunch of videos about prices of stuff around the world, and a video of eggs. The price of eggs popped up for Mexico, and I guess the more expensive eggs were like $1.98. Well, in America, the cheapest that the guy could find was $7 or something like that. Well, me personally, I'm not a huge egg fan, you know what I mean? A lot of snakes eat eggs. To me personally, it's like eating veal. It's like, I don't know. But everybody's got their own thing. But the point of this is, I wanted to bring up idolatry and how it affects people's minds. And the reason I'm saying that is because I then, thought popped in my mind, why do people come to America? Why do they leave Mexico? And then the first thing that popped up in my mind after that was like, oh, it's bad in Mexico and America's good and da da da. And I thought about it and it's like, that's the propaganda. No, it's not. Where I'm from in Chicago is extremely dangerous. I saw a drive-by, witnessed a drive-by, and it's in my actual memory. I believe I was 3 or 4 years old. I think I was 3 years old. We was going to my auntie V's house. I'm not gonna say her name on stream, but we was going to her house, and this dude was running by. He said, "Get down." I'll never forget it because then next thing I know, I heard pop, 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 and my mom flew me to the ground. I remember that's about all I remember. And then I remember going to her house afterwards. But it's dangerous. It can be dangerous anywhere. And the idea of only showing that it's beautiful here, that's the main problem. A lot of times people are coming to a place where it really isn't that beautiful. And while it might seem beautiful because of the technology and the level of wealth this country may appear to have, it actually isn't. You know what I mean? A lot of people are in marginalized communities. A lot of people are stuck in places where they're poor, hungry. What I found interesting with the dismantling of a lot of these programs is that African Americans weren't the ones receiving a lot of benefit, which is, more propaganda making us seem like we're lazy or we're not able to do a job or something. And something else interesting I wanted to bring up, people can do what they're going to do in life. They have free will, but it would seem that I was correct. People copy and paste what African Americans do. I'm listening to different people talk, their slang they use. I'm listening. There was a funny thing back in the day where like African American screaming. That's like why Samuel Jackson and Pulp Fiction and stuff like that was like a huge thing. Well, now you see in commercials and everywhere people are like yelling to get their point across. You see rap everywhere in department stores and in music, hip hop, different R&B, love music, and it's just interesting to me because honestly, I'm not super deep into conspiracies, but I only say that because I don't like the way the word conspiracy is used. When somebody has a thought about something, ulterior, something else happening, the first thing people think is like conspiracy. And it's like, sometimes if we were to open up and listen more, we would understand that not everything is a conspiracy. Sometimes this stuff is really happening. And so, what I meant to say is, what if in a world where because of our past and we know what happened, let's say I had power. And with my power, I had the power to influence a bunch of people around me or influence everything, but I didn't know it. I was unaware to it. Let's say I notice a lot of African Americans sometimes when they talk to and or deal with Caucasians, oftentimes they can be like mean or like, I'm not dealing with it no more type stuff. Well, a lot of the Caucasians I interact with are like really friendly and really happy and accepting of me being around. Well, I noticed that's the type of person I am, period, though. I noticed I try to make everybody happy, which isn't a bad thing. People be like, you need to stop. It's not, that's a good thing to try to, make people's lives easier. But what I wanted to express is what if we lived in a world where, because we're constantly still living like that, like, no, we're not going to assimilate her. No, these people, they're still taking on that personality. The reason I say that is because you can't say people copy and paste and steal from black people, and then in that situation say, no, they don't. They're just naturally. Nah, okay. You gotta understand. You know what I mean? I know there's gray area in a lot of different places, and it's not all black and white. If you understand what I'm saying, but just try it out. Try being different. Try being. If something isn't working for you, I know a lot of people like being in that mood that, but try something new, you know what I mean? Try something different. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of people. The reason why I'm not getting too emotional over what's happening to current Americans is because imagine a world where we have free will. I had to understand something. We have free will, and so everybody's doing their thing, I guess, to an extent because we have laws. Now, if I get like, if I force these people to be more liberal or whatever the word you want to call it, if I force these people to be more understanding or aware, I'm then a slave master, right? So, hey, they're doing their thing. Now, when they're affected by that thing, you know what I mean? How can I be upset? This is what you wanted in life. This is what, not the viewer, if you didn't vote for Trump, but this is what a lot of people ask for. I've seen Palestinians, Hispanics, different nationalities get on camera and talk about African Americans like dogs. Caucasians do it. Different races do it. I don't just blindly like saying those racists and people who are shrilling do it. And so, you know what I mean? They just spew lies. They talk about us being criminals. Boy, you should see the 2019 crime statistics, and then you should look up the cold case files from 2019. They talk about we did the most murders. Yeah, okay. Y'all getting plea deals, and y'all murders just are going unsolved. And then years later, when cold case files comes up, it's like, oh, we found a murderer, but he's dead. How many times I've heard that? Anyways, the point is, and then they blame like a Hispanic person or African American or some immigrant, something crazy. The usual process. So then, I look up and I see African Americans constantly, yo, it's racist, yo, slavery, yo, yo, yo. How it used to be. What do people do? It was a long time ago. It didn't happen to you, blah, blah, blah. You people are genius, running your mouth, blah, 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 blah. Then when what y'all voted for comes for y'all, this is why I like stories. This is why I think life is interesting. Because you see people in that Bible and they do it all the time. The Israelites, they was hard-headed peoples. We want a king. We don't want who I am. We don't want the Lord. Oh, and they're getting these church sermons. We love Jesus, which means I'm a gracious pig. You don't want to believe it, whatever. But it's not. I don't look at that book and be like, oh, the Israelites no more. I'm like, oh, humans. There we go. They're doing it. Then, like, I'm giving the Jewish community one more warning because I'm sick of fucking talking to certain people because for over the last 3 years, my life was made a living hell for trying to warn people about what just happened with Trump and a whole bunch of stuff. So then I said, what's going to happen to Judaism next is you guys see all the support from America, right? Trump says America owns it now. That should not, when you see that, that should terrify you. Because if you pay attention to these right-wing groups in the history of America, them Jewish people wasn't marching with the right back when Martin Luther King and Malcolm X was alive. They had that scroll in the Ten Commandments and was marching with the African Americans for a reason. Well, they don't really take too kindly to the Jews if you watch a little South Park or get to know some of these Americans. I promise you. So what's going to happen in the near future, something's going to happen with the Judaism community. They're going to see it as too extremists. They're going to start treating y'all like Arabs. They're going to see y'all spitting on Christians and acting a nut out there. And they're going to start putting y'all on the news. When they do that, then they're going to start calling you all the T word, if you catch my drift. Then they're going to bring up what y'all did to Palestine as a mode against y'all, because it's already on y'all record. Then they're going to move y'all out the way. Trump said America's about to own Gaza now, right? They're going to turn it to the United States of corporations. There's going to be a whole bunch of rich people out there and Christians. Predominantly, I'm sure it's going to be Christian nationalists. I'm telling you all how Christians feel about Judah. But people constantly watch me and don't seem to, I don't know, I guess I don't go mainstream. Y'all like the African Americans. What I notice is almost every African American in the right, they ain't called DEI yet. Why not? These group of African American men, Reese Waters just did a coverage on it. These guys called this woman a black bee when she said African American women are the most intelligent. The Hodge twins did a segment on it too. They looked up who The Hodge twins looked up who was the highest percentage of doctors and intelligent professions, and it was Asian and African American women. I told y'all where Asiatic DNA comes from. Go over to China and Japan and look and check some of their history books. They believe in evolution and all that. They teach on it. They have education. You should see some of their cities too. My goodness. America is not what you come to America, McDonald's. This isn't a ploy against McDonald's. I eat the stuff sometimes. Ooh, they got some good marketing. When I was a kid, the little dancing clown and and the play places, so much fun. Yeah, an infestation of. Do you know how they removed some of the play places? When I say, do you know where some of these plagues came from? Some of these viral infections and all this other stuff, and they like to bring up Africa and AIDS. Was Africa dealing with AIDS before? Like, this is what I'm telling y'all. This is what I'm telling y'all. So the propaganda is unreal, and you got to pay attention, or else it's gonna sweep you away in the flood. I like to ride over the flood in an ark. I like to call it a little covenant or something like that. It's I am who I am. The first 3 commandments, but the other 7 too keep me safe. If that means they all keep me safe with it. And y'all be like, gods and that. No, that's from Germany. I'm not talking about Dutch and Sweden and Norway and all that. Y'all should really pay attention to all these flags. I'm talking about I am who I am. You are who you are. If you all pay attention, you're the gods. I am God. You're a god. We are. We make the decisions. All this other stuff that can't walk, talk, breathe. Me and my kitty. He's a little cat god, in his own little way. He thinks and moves and runs on instincts and stuff. Just differences. But, that's just something I picked up. Something I've learned. But all you people that was talking about, I told y'all this was going to happen. A lot of people did. How many times did they call Marjorie Taylor Greene a white bee? And this woman going around talking about Jewish space lasers and space and weather machines. She has control of laws right now. That's scary. So, like I keep telling y'all, man, the more stupidity that y'all dwell in, the more y'all gonna fuck around and find out. Y'all like America yet? And the even more ironic part, if I was a selfish person, I'd be enjoying any of this. Making a lot of money. But this didn't come from right wing. The pay increases came from liberals, from Democrats. The same Democrats who they hate. The same Democrats who are letting y'all even come into the country. That's why I can only get so mad. I can only be so sad. Y'all voted for this. And the people that didn't vote for this, I'm so sorry. I just seen a news article of people in Gaza warning to please vote for Kamala because they knew what Trump was going to do. I can only warn people so much, you know what I mean? It's like if they're going to do it to themselves with their free will, let it be, let it be. But one thing people are not going to do is keep getting... This one Hispanic man who got deported was shrilling and shrilling, talking about black people. Now he's like, why are the black people not helping us? What are you talking about? My African American people, do you see what happens when we constantly stick our hand in the fire? What did the Lord say after a while? Quit fucking around. Do us, live for us. We have a culture and a community. We're going to build that now. And anybody who touches us now are going to feel the fucking fires. People keep saying, why didn't you build it? Look, go to any other country and they headstrong for their nationalism. My community, my culture, my country, my history. Then come here and tell people our fucking history and they disrespect us like we don't exist. So now they finna get a fucking taste of our history. I don't know why y'all keep coming to America anyway. This isn't a don't come here, we hate you. This is a we have been trying to get out for hundreds of years. But on another note, I just saw a video about African history in Europe, African art and culture in Europe. There's African paintings and sculptures in listen to what I'm about to tell y'all. American. They'll say that's a German word. Recan is forever ruler, beginning ruler, African. Amer comes from the Indian. You ever heard the name Amer? But they'll say it's German. They steal. Do you know where the Southern Confederate flag comes from? Look up the Chippewa battle flag. The Chippewa battle flag. I think I'm saying that right. It's like a literal copy and paste. Beware of your words and what you're doing out here if you're aware. I'm telling you, people, like a baby, like a sponge. Sometimes people assimilate into everything you're doing. So if they still see us acting a certain type of way, leave us alone, stay out, blah, blah, blah. I don't have to act like that. I can live my life and do what I'm doing and stop shrilling. And then if people would like to follow, cool, come along. But for the people that acted an ass, all you can really do is apologize. Either people are going to accept you or mock you. There's going to be mockers everywhere. That's what I'm going to tell you. You can't make everybody happy. People are going. I heard this on South Park recently. Cartman was like, he was like, poor people have nothing better to do but to piss people off. And I really sat back and thought about it. And it's like, that's why there's so many weird Caucasian edgelords and other factions of humanity on the internet with anime profile pictures. Just saying, this one dude, I can share it. I can take screenshots and show you the memes and stuff he was leaving me on Facebook. And it's like, what are you doing? That doesn't hurt my feelings, man. Like, it was all about black people. One of the memes was like, when black people were slaves, and it showed like a bunch of order in a southern plantation. Then it showed we were free and they were all holding guns and stuff and doing all this. It's like, what are you talking about? Guns? What do that have to pertain to me? He's taken a weird talking point that he saw from some right-wing psychopath and applying it to something that don't. That's like, remember them shapes as a kid, and you had the shape holes, one for a triangle, one for a square, one for a circle. Then people are like the people that'll take a star and try to put it in a square, like, dude, why isn't it working, until they jam it in. I saw recently, they invited, I think, 7 or 8 flat earthers to one of the poles. I think it was Antarctica, but don't quote me. And what they were doing is they were proving that there isn't a 24-hour sun and a 24-hour darkness. Because what happens is, I'm trying to explain this the best of my ability. The earth is doing something called rotating, but it's also doing something called a revolution. And so it's tilted also. Imagine my head is the sun and this remote control is the earth. What it's doing is it's rotating like this. So while it's rotating like this at an angle around my head, you see how the top of it is getting the angle towards my head. But once it goes back here, the bottom of it is getting closer to my head. And then it does the same thing on this side, how it turns. Well, when it does that and it's spinning, you're getting the 24-hour day or however long because of the spin. But places where the sun is completely pointed towards it, you see how it's like that? But then over here, the sun is away, the remote is away from the sun. And it does that constantly. Well, these 3 men went up there. They did a bunch of recordings. Like, we found out that it's true. The earth is round and it's rotating. We're doing things people never did and blah, blah, blah. We're inventing and finding out new information. That's what a lot of Europeans have been doing for a long time. A lot of humans, but Europeans have been colonizing civilization. You're not the first ones up there to figure out that the ancient men from ancient Africa. And if you look at a map, look at South America, America, Africa, and parts of Europe, and even Australia. If you bring those all together closer, you'll see that they all connect. It was Pangea, and they're around that big, huge lake on the top of Africa, or around Africa. That's all Africa, and the bottom of Europe, what they would call Syria and all, whatever, Greek and Roman, all that. And those people would have been my skin color. If the sun is frying and these people are in savannas, how would it be any different? And then as people broke away and started going up north, evolution happened. Because people that don't believe in evolution, but then will go get a skin tan, are you stupid? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, though. That's evolution right there, momentarily, instantly. But y'all don't believe in thousands and millions of years of evolution? Back to the edgelords, the poor people. That's why you get so many people go online. This is a dude that takes something totally heinous and stupid, and behind it, hey, I just trolled them. You're the only one laughing. Nobody else. I mean, you're entertaining yourself, I guess. But it looks ridiculous, and it's making your civilization look retarded. It is. People are seeing it. Like, imagine everything that Hitler and all them did. Imagine if they had Facebook or a book they had cameras, which was bad enough. So we could talk about what we believe about these people, but ultimately there's a lot we didn't see or know. Now these motherfuckers are on social media. They're like, because nobody knows my real name or picture, but we know what faction is doing it. You see what I'm saying? Like, so now in history, we don't go, oh, that one guy from Germany who was this year's old. We go, Germany, right? Now in history, they go, America. Telling y'all, and if y'all don't change this, it's going to get worse and worse. And the oligarchs are going to have more power until they destroy themselves. Because then they're not going to have slaves. They're going to dry the earth out. It's going to. So, I was thinking about something with forest fire, or the fires that happen every year, because that's natural, dude. Lightning has been striking savannas in different places, and the old places that have dry grass with not enough moisture. In certain parts of the world, there's no winter. It goes like Savannah Beauty to hot. Like how it goes beautiful summer for us and then cold, it goes Savannah Beauty hot. Those dry lands start burning up, and what happens is it becomes fertilizer for the new stuff, the new plants and grasslands. Well, imagine a place where that was happening so much and there's not enough moisture because of the changes in climate, and it becomes deserted. It becomes so dried out and dusty that it becomes desert land. Lack of moisture. And so when you hear stuff like people taking things like DEI and climate change and evolution and major terms that have a whole bunch of subtext, subpoints, and science involved, and they're turning it into political lefty, righty. There's science and a whole bunch of these things, and you guys are ignoring it for stupidity. And so let's become more aware again. Let's become intelligent. Let's stop ignoring things because they hurt our feelings. That's why they try to do away with the prophets, and start making it better. But don't take hot fire and throw it at people and expect not to burn yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's become better people as humanity. I got to go to work soon. I didn't expect this to go on so long, but I'm just trying to help out to the best of my ability and live my life and make sure. Because I heard Trump say, we don't need all these different companies and institutions. We just need one company to handle all the stuff. That's a monopoly. You're taking away literally from the essence of America and placing laws in place to make us a dictatorship. And once the monopolies and the power is set in place, then your four children, your aunts, your descendants aren't going to be able to stop it because of his stupidity. Y'all have the power to stop it now. So it's about to be stopped. Or else you all are going to continue to go down this rabbit hole of stupidity. And I saw Elon Musk's machines counted the stuff, his money paid for all the stuff. He was sitting behind the Oval Office in Time magazine, and then Trump tried to say, oh, are they still open? But you just did a speech for them last year or something like that. Was it even a whole year? It's coping. You look silly. Vice President Trump is doing a silly job, and President Musk is taking over. Y'all don't like, and y'all wanted the pure blood of America. And then y'all are talking about, if you're not a citizen, y'all immigrated here like 500 years ago. What are y'all talking about? Y'all are still immigrants. Y'all ain't even been here for a millennium yet. So imagine the frustration of a Native American walking down the street that looks Hispanic, I guess, because I don't even know at this point. Everybody's mixed with something. The Neanderthals and Denisovans had passed out long ago, went extinct, and it's Homo sapien from Homo erectus from African descent. So why are y'all attacking the gods, your forefathers? Chill out, man. Let's get to know each other. Let's show some mercy, gracious merciness, remember? But not merciness for stupidity, because everybody got free will, and the Lord gives to everybody as they choose. So if a person want to be a fool, let them go be a fool. All these politicians with these walkouts and these blah, blah, blahs, y'all better take out a page in some of these African leaders' books like Abraham Traore. Because after y'all little bouts in the media, but then you go to your little dinner parties to fill up and your little buffets and whatnot, and eating good at your little dinner parties in your rich mansions. I know some of y'all try, but the rest of y'all who think this shit's a joke, The only bathroom y'all are going to be using is in the potter's field after you have your fill. So take that how you will, but it's time to finish opening these seals. Don't be a pagan. They do it to themselves with their foolishness and wealth, with their imaginary tree paper that turns to sandpaper later. Look at Egypt. Good luck.